Good afternoon, folks. My name is Suzanne McAllister. I'm with the Post-Animal Use World Project, Vegan Spirituality Group of Philadelphia, and PA Voters for Animals, among others. But anyway, that's a good start. And today is August 14th, 2026. And I am really looking forward to chatting with Jen Tucker so I can introduce you to her. I had the privilege of meeting her. I'm going to say it was probably 6 weeks ago. I'm not sure exactly when, but, and you're going to hear about this when we talk, I volunteer with something called Lucky Pups Rescue, which is in Abington, Pennsylvania. And this wonderful project, I'm going to call it, that Jen started, allowed us to do an adoption event there. And it's called the Animal Cabin. And I was just so blown away driving up a driveway on the property of an Episcopal church. And it looked like, something out of Walden Pond. I mean, it was just beautiful, this little white cabin nestled in greenery. Anyway, we met at this event, and as I was leaving, Jen and I had an opportunity to chat, and we realized all this overlapping interests. We're both vegan. We both worship at Episcopal churches. We're both involved, I believe, in the Interfaith Vegan Coalition. Jen I'm going to let her talk about herself. So anyway, we discovered all this overlap and we said, oh, we have to get together. So I then since went back to the Animal Cabin, and Jen and I and one of her adorable fosters and I had a nice little afternoon, and I asked her whether she would be willing to do an interview for the Paw Project, and she agreed. So, what I would love to have you first off talk about is what is the Animal Cabin? Let people know what is this?
Well, first of all, thank you, Suzanne, for that great introduction. The Animal Cabin is a space for shelter dogs to come out for the day, to just get a day out. And we have so many shelters and rescues in the Philadelphia area where we're located that want to get these dogs out for the day. It lowers their cortisol levels. It really helps them get adopted because a lot of people take photos and do social media posts on the dogs. And even though you're bringing them back at the end of the day, in most cases, you're bringing them back as a changed dog. And some dogs just want to sit and do nothing. Some just want to run around. But it's a great space. It's got AC, heat, Wi-Fi. Well, you saw it, television, coffee station, treats, and a fenced-in yard on the 42 acres. So it really is. I think the way you described it was perfect.
It's magical.
Yeah.
Truly magical. And if I have it right, there are big evergreen trees
Yes.
around it.
Yep.
So it truly feels like it's this sanctuary in the woods.
Yes. That's what we want it to be. That's perfect.
Well, you accomplished it. So tell me how this happened.
So, a colleague of actually someone who attends church with me and started volunteering with me at one of the shelters, she and I started seeing, that there was not a lot of space for animals to be walked at some of these shelters. And we sort of thought how great it would be. Well, we knew people who could take dogs out for the day, but a lot of people didn't have space or they had dogs at home. So this was this need that we saw of providing this space outside of the home where people can come. We also provide transportation for people to get to
Wow.
and from the shelters. If they need it, we provide crates and all of that. So based on the feedback we were getting from the people in the animal space in our area, we thought, you know what? This sounds like a great idea, and we can use this cabin for events, which is how you and I met through an adoption event. So it launched in March of this year, 2026. And we have probably definitely 3 days a week, it's booked for people bringing animals in. It's one animal, one person per day. So if you book the day, you can come any time of the day because we basically sanitize and clean everything between visits. We had a gentleman yesterday who came for the whole day, which was amazing, worked from there. The shelter dog
Wow.
slept and ran around. And we also have a sniff garden that we're creating for animals to different things that are not toxic that they can smell. And
Wow.
it's just it's been really successful. And I did not think of it also as a meet and greet space. So people who are fosters use it as a space for them to introduce the foster dog
Yeah.
to the family dog. And we didn't envision that, but it's become really popular for that. And for events, rescue events, people just love coming into the space, hanging out. It's just been really great.
It's wonderful. I mean, my group, Lucky Pups, was there a few weeks ago
And this past Saturday.
and this past Saturday, and I had dinner with some friends the week before this past Saturday and hadn't seen them in a while. We were just catching up, and I mentioned Lucky Pups. They had lost their pug of 16 years
Mm,
a couple of months ago and still grieving. But I mentioned it and I said, oh, by the way, they're going to be at the animal cabin on Saturday. And so I know the husband went to the event, and it's such an easy, natural way to meet both the people who run Lucky Pups, start meeting the dogs, see, do I want to volunteer? Do I
right.
want to foster? Do I maybe want to adopt? And it's just such a natural setting.
I'm so glad. I'm
It
so
it,
glad
it
you feel
makes
that
it,
way.
yeah, it makes it, but so Lucky Pups, we were there 2 or 3 weeks ago just for like a little outing, and we
You're
sat
right.
around, had lunch together, sitting with the dogs in the fenced-in yard, and it's like a meeting space.
Yeah. I also, tomorrow I do services Saturday, the third Saturday of every month, the third Wednesday, I do blessings and services for people or their animals who need extra help or
So
anything.
I saw that you do that on Wednesdays, right?
Wednesdays at noon and Saturdays at 8.
Can you tell me a little bit about it? Because I thought I wouldn't mind getting blessed. Now, my
Yeah.
cat will not travel with me. You would not want her to travel with me, but no, she does not travel well. Um, but I thought I worry about her.
Mm,
So mainly I worry, she's an indoor cat and her environment's just not very stimulating. And
yeah.
I do everything I can to have an enriched environment, but there's just so much you can do in the
Yeah.
indoor space where she's not watching flies, she's not watching birds, she's
Right.
just, yeah, like I said, she doesn't have a lot of distraction. And so I know that causes me some angst.
Right. Well, I would love to create a cat cabin. Almost
Uh-huh.
like that was the initial thought for this project because we were we had a potential space in a closed church. And we went pretty far in imagining that as a place for cats, a way station,
Wow.
not a shelter necessarily, but a way station for shelters that were overtaxed and didn't have enough space. We had a catio, we had all this stuff planned. that didn't happen. So we moved into this idea, but I would still love to do the cat idea and almost have like a cabin. I mean, cats are different, they're not
They
going to
are.
run out and chase a ball, but they need stimulation, to your point.
They absolutely do. Yeah. So I'm curious, if you want to share, how did you get your community to agree to this idea? That's number one. And number two, I'm thinking, so some of the people listening to this are not from Southeast
Hmm.
Pennsylvania. Although if you are, check out Animal Cabin, and all of the links will be, in the show notes underneath the interview. So you know how to reach Jen and Animal Cabin. But first, I'm interested in, how did you propose this?
Hmm.
And then secondly, do you feel like you have a model that if somebody listening to this thought, wow, I
Yeah.
would love to do this, and I live in Missouri or Chicago or wherever?
Yeah.
So those are two
Yeah.
questions.
So this is a replicable model for sure. And I can provide the plan and everything that we propose to make it happen. So for a church, I mean, you don't need to be a person of faith to do this. I mean, animal lovers, Episcopalians love animals just like any other
Yeah,
faith group, and people that are not affiliated with a faith group.
right.
So this was really the sell for the church was, this is an opportunity to meet people that we don't already know.
Hmm.
I have straddled two worlds my entire life. I worked at PETA a million years ago, and I have a lot of animal activist friends. And I'm also a person of faith, and I have a lot of friends from my faith, but those two worlds don't always interact,
Correct.
as you know. And
I do.
so I really saw this as an opportunity to welcome people in with really the lowest barrier. You're not
Hmm.
walking into a church. We're not proselytizing as you walk in, but church is supposed to be where everyone's welcome. So that is something that we consistently say to people. And it's a meeting place, as you mentioned. And these are God's creatures. So
Wow.
why wouldn't we want to? These are, people, these are beings that need love, attention, care.
Hmm.
And so that's kind of how we sold it, that here's this possibility of welcoming a new audience to church. And also my thought was, and it wasn't just me, I should mention Ann Ansbach is amazing. And she's sort of my co-leader with all of this. She's
My former pickleball partner.
Yes, totally, totally. Anne is the type of person, you tell her you have an idea and she's off making it happen. I mean, I could not do any of this without her. But our idea wasn't necessarily, okay, now we're going to transition the people here into the church.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I think this is church in a lot of ways,
Amen.
right? We're meeting people where they are, and so
And there is something like, I truly believe this. Everybody might not have the same reaction, but there was something spiritual about the location. And I don't mean just that it was on church grounds. I'm talking
right.
now about the cabin, how it's situated. And it almost looks like a little church in the woods.
Right. And that's the point. And I love that you see that and feel that,
I
because
did.
when
Yeah.
I'm there Saturday morning, I'm there early, and the sun is rising, the deer are running around.
Oh,
I mean, it's just so quiet back there. But
yes.
even for people that have this idea to do it, you don't need, for obviously St. Thomas's is blessed with 42 acres of land. That is not most churches or places of worship. But I actually think this idea could be done almost anywhere.
Well, I'm going to pick your brain
Yeah.
offline
Yeah.
because I would love to do something at my church, which doesn't have 42 acres.
Right.
So we will talk offline and
Yeah.
see, and stay tuned, folks. If it happens, you will be the first to know.
The other thing I want to add is that recently we've had a lot of requests from people that are homeless, unhoused with animals, cats and dogs, needing
Mm,
space to just hang out during the day because it's
wow.
hot, or going into the winter because it's so cold. So that's another, we're not in an area where it's that populated, as you know. But if I was in Philadelphia, Center City, Philadelphia, or in another metro city, that is a great idea.
Wow. Wow. Okay. Yeah, it you can see how there can be this domino effect.
Totally.
And you start to things start to ripple out in ways that were unexpected.
Exactly. Which is
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah. So I wanted to, if you're willing, maybe just tell people a little bit about your background. You said you worked for PETA, but how your interest in animals and doing this kind of work started, just
Yeah.
to fill out your profile a little.
Sure. So in brief, I really started my career at PETA, wanting to be in advertising initially. And after PETA, I went into the PR agency world, working for like really big clients, Fortune 500 clients, and then moved into cause-related PR, working on death row issues, working with arts organizations, et cetera, but also doing a lot in technology. So my background with PR has been everywhere. But I always, the animal, the need to advocate for animals was always it was always something I was doing as a volunteer. I was cleaning cat cages at one shelter. I was walking dogs at another shelter. So it was always pulling me back.
Hmm.
The PETA job was eye-opening in so many ways because I wasn't an investigator. I wasn't working on the ground. I was handling media relations for them, but so many issues that we're all just learning about now. I learned about then, factory farming and animals and entertainment and just so many things. And I'm so grateful for that experience and those people. And I recently have still done crisis support for them. They actually run a animal abuse hotline
Mm.
24/7, and it's amazing. They just take calls across the United States and some global with, doing triage on animal abuse. But so that's always been with me. In 2018, I started this job. I managed the communications for the Episcopal Diocese of Pennsylvania. We have 136 churches, and I work for the bishop. And this job was another interest of mine to get closer to my faith.
Hmm.
And in the course of doing this job, I worked with the bishop who loves animals. And we created this animal ministry idea to basically support churches in what they wanted to do, whether
Wow.
it was a pet pantry or a vaccine event. And then out of that came an idea at my own church in the diocese to do the animal cabin. And we got a $5,000 grant to do it, not to build the cabin, but to provide programming and supplies. But in this diocese, we've done in the last year and a half 4 vaccination events in areas where the majority of people, we've worked with the oh gosh, I'm going to forget the name of the organization. It's a national organization that works with unhoused people and their animals. It's
Hmm.
amazing. So we worked in Norristown where we are. We worked in Center City. We have a bunch of churches that have pet pantries, which is great. So, I would love to see, like I was saying earlier, I'd love to see sort of like the cabin idea almost, I think it could be replicated in a lot of places. And it's also become a space. I've had people come in with their dogs because I've had parishioners come in with their dogs because they're going through stuff.
Yes.
And, they want their animal with them. And that's the other thing is I would love to see churches that invite companion animals in.
Well,
But so
you've got my mind working.
I know. And then a year ago, I started a program with Compassion Consortium to become a veterinary or animal chaplain. And that was just sort of the pinnacle. I mean, that was, meeting people who are activists, who are different faiths. Now it's a non-denominational program, and I love it for that. I've learned so much from others, and that has been just carried me through all of this. Just
It's
learning.
fantastic.
It's great. It's great. I cannot recommend that program
Well,
enough.
self-disclosure, I start in September.
I didn't know that.
I just made the decision recently, so you wouldn't know.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
Yeah,
Oh my,
so you and I are going to be working on parallel lanes,
yes, yes.
because I really want to get St. Paul's more engaged in this effort, and I think they will. I think they will.
Man, this is such great news.
Yeah.
You're gonna love Reverend Sarah. I'm so excited for you.
Yeah, she's great. I mean, I've been participating in Compassion Consortium for years,
Through
and I
Interfaith.
had
Yeah.
considered doing this. And actually, it was meeting you that made me, I thought, why not do that?
Yeah.
In the back of my mind, I thought, hey, you've got a PhD in psychology. Do you really need to add one more thing? And then I thought, this is completely different. And like you said, you're learning from other people. That's why I'm doing it. I have
Yeah,
certain skills, I know I have them, but this is going to be a different lens.
you're gonna
Yeah.
love it. Oh, I'm so excited for you.
Yes. So we will touch base about that. So before we end, anything else that you want people to know about you, about Animal Cabin, about any of the things you're doing? I mean, you've talked about a lot of
Yeah,
tentacles that
yeah.
this has now brought to you. Um,
I, I think the hardest thing for people that are vegans and people, and we talked about this briefly, I came to all this understanding when I was younger. So I went through the anger. I mean, I have a lot of people in my life that are not vegans. I have people in my life that are not animal people. And the hardest thing is keeping those people in your life while you're doing this work. But I also believe, I really firmly believe that if you're not surrounding yourself with people who are different, you're not going to make a difference.
ah,
So it's
beautifully
hard though.
said.
It's hard. It's difficult. But and a lot of people that come to the cabin are not.
Yeah.
We only have vegan snacks in the refrigerator, but it's one step for a lot of people. It's seeing a
Yes.
dog and realizing that could be a pig or a rat. A rat is a pig, is a dog, is a boy, as Peter says. So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
kind of, yeah.
Well, thank you for that. And thank you so much for making time and for your imagination and your energy and creativity and what you have accomplished. I mean, it really I find it inspiring. So thank you.
Thank you. And I find you inspiring.
Well, hopefully I'm going to become even more inspired.
Well, you already are.
Thank you. Thank you.